Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. And when I say that, I literally do mean welcome because this is the first ever video that I'm making on this channel. I decided to start a YouTube channel because I am a K-pop fan and I'm very opinionated and I wanted to share my opinions with the world. So that's why I decided to make this, and I thought what better way to kick off the channel than by making the most popular YouTube video in the whole K-pop sphere of YouTube, and that is the unpopular K-pop opinions video. I don't doubt that you guys know what that is already, so I'm going to make this intro as short as possible so that we can just get on into it. But I just wanted to preface with, I know that everybody likes to start off these videos with, oh, I know that everybody says that their opinions are unpopular, but they're not, but I promise you mine are, and those opinions don't really turn out to be unpopular either. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I did really try hard to put forth my most unpopular, my most spicy, my most controversial, and that's all the adjectives that I can think of. Basically, my most brutal K-pop opinions for you guys. So make sure to leave a comment down below telling me if you agree with any of the opinions. If you disagree, just make sure to stay respectful because being respectful is always good. And yeah, without any further ado, let's get on into the video. Alright, so the first opinion is, I don't think Soyeon is that great of a rapper. I know that this is purely a preference thing because I have seen people praise her for being the best female rapper of the fourth gen, or the best female rapper active right now. And I don't doubt that she's talented at all. I mean, she won, what, second place, I think, on Unpretty Rap Star, so that's gotta mean something. I've seen professionals say that she's got great technique and things like that, and I know that that means something, and I don't take that lightly. I think that she's super talented. I don't disagree with any of that. It's just that the thing that throws me off is the fact that all of her rap verses sound the same to me, because she's got this nasally type tone that stays consistent in every single one of her performances. It even goes as far as to show in her vocal performances also. And I think that at some point it gets a little bit redundant. It's gotten to the point where if you were to show me a compilation of all of Soyeon's raps, I probably wouldn't be able to tell them apart, or I would think that they were all a part of the same verse. It's just a little bit confusing and annoying when her tone and style doesn't change with the vibe of the song. And I know that she's got this, like, bad bitch type energy that also comes through in all of her songs, but I wish that we could see more sides to Soyeon as well. I personally prefer a rapper or an artist in general who's just got a lot of versatility. I wish that she would branch out and try different styles. I feel like I would appreciate that more. Alright, so the next opinion is, I don't think Jennie is or ever was YG's princess. Now, I know that a lot of people have kind of abandoned the whole YG's princess nickname over the last couple of years. So I think that that's one good thing because it was originally created to slander Jennie in a way. But I think that originally the reason for this nickname being created was so unbelievably absurd. So the main reason I think was probably the whole outfits thing, Jennie getting the quote-unquote best outfits. First of all, style is a subjective thing. I personally don't really think that Jennie always was getting the best outfits. I feel like every member has had their moments where their outfits are kind of better than everyone else's. But I also think that Jennie's outfits suit her. She gets a lot of these luxury looking outfits because she is kind of an it girl, luxury, Chanel. Like, that's just her vibe and brand. And also, I have to mention this. Imagine shitting on the other three girls of Blackpink for their quote-unquote bad outfits a couple of years ago, only to find out in the documentary that they literally style their outfits themselves, or that they take part in the styling a little bit. So you guys basically are saying that Rose, Jisoo, and Lisa's outfits or personal styling are bad, so that must be embarrassing for you guys, really. And I think the other reason why Jennie was called YG's princess was that she got more lines, which is completely absurd because she's literally the main rapper and she used to get rap lines. And another thing that I have to say to that is Rose is now getting a majority of the lines, which makes sense. I don't dispute that in any way. She's the main vocalist. But none of you guys are calling Rose YG's princess. Not that you should be, but it's just that you guys will take the tiniest thing and use it as an opportunity to slander Jennie, but turn a blind eye when it comes to any other idol that you don't want to be hating on. Another thing that I wanted to touch on in this section of the video is the fact that I think Jennie was done dirty by YG. If YG truly favored Jennie, they wouldn't have just stood back and let her face the backlash on her own. She was going through so many scandals at that time, the dating scandal, the lazy scandal, and what did YG do about it? Absolutely nothing. Instead, they chose to profit off of the situation by releasing her solo in the middle of all this hate, which I know a lot of people like to hate on Jennie for getting the solo first out of all of the members and use that as a reason to believe that YG really does favor Jennie, but in reality, they released that solo at the absolute worst time for Jennie, but the best time for YG in terms of profitability, because of course, everybody's going to be tuning in to listen to the solo whenever she's going through a bunch of hate, but it probably negatively impacted her so much having her solo released at that time. So yeah, I don't think Jennie is YG's princess. I think she's YG's cash cow. Okay, so the next opinion is by no means unpopular, but I have seen a lot of people get hated on for having this opinion, and that is that I like BTS's older music. Or rather, I prefer their older music to what they're releasing currently. And I think that a lot of people just use this opinion as an excuse to hate on their English songs, which is not what this is at all. I don't have a problem with their English songs, but I'll touch on that a little bit later. I think that the main issue that I have with the songs they're currently releasing is that they're not really reminiscent of the signature K-pop style that I fell in love with originally and still love to see from a bunch of other groups. The type of music that they're releasing is in fact westernized. But before I talk about that, I just want to kind of get into the specifics of what this signature K-pop style is. One thing that prevents K-pop from being pop, except it's Korean, is the fact that it's super big and in your face, and it's kind of in a league of its own. It has these extravagant choreographies and killer parts in the music, and that was what BTS was doing super well at a certain point in time. For example, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, DNA, Not Today, Fire, songs like that. That's what you would generally expect from K-pop, and that I think is the type of style that I prefer. But recently, even with their Korean releases, like the entirety of the B album, they've kind of been going more into the realms of what is popular and trendy in the West. Like, for example, I think Life Goes On is something that nobody would have ever expected a K-pop group to release as a title track, just because, you know, there's no choreography, it's pretty chill and mellow and kind of indie in a way. So it doesn't necessarily have to do with the fact that the songs are not in Korean. It has to do with the fact that the songs are more catered to what is trendy and popular in the West. Now, onto their English songs. Again, I don't really have a problem with them releasing music in English. I would literally add a 20-second track of them breathing to my Spotify playlist, so I'm okay with them releasing music in English. The only minor problem that I have with it is just the fact that the lyrics aren't that deep. Now, I know that the songs that they've released, Dynamite Butter and Permission to Dance, have all been summer songs, so they don't have to be lyrically deep, but it puts into question, are they going to reserve English songs for the summertime, or are they going to release them year-round and find a way to make them more lyrically deep than they have been? I really want to see them do an English song that is lyrically deep, but I feel like if they start straying away from that and making a bunch of feel-good, pop-like songs, then they're gonna lose that signature BTS style and sound that made so many people fall in love with them. Okay, I don't even know what to call this next opinion. It's just a rant, I guess, about you guys' logic when it comes to Mama and the Grammys. So, first let's talk about Mama, because I feel like this needs some additional explanation. When we're talking about Mama, I'm going to eliminate all other Song of the Year competitors besides Dynamite and Psycho, because I think that those are the only two that were ever really in the running to win in the first place. So when it came to Dynamite winning over Psycho, I saw a lot of armies saying, oh, you Psycho fans, you're not allowed to be upset about it because BTS is just a bigger group. Them winning was inevitable. So you guys should really just shut up. Then we look at the Grammys, and logically speaking, I think that Ariana Grande and Lady Gaga are more popular than BTS in the West. If you were to go up to a random American person and ask them if they knew who BTS were, they probably wouldn't know in comparison to Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande. But for some reason, everybody started disputing the fact that Rain on Me won the Grammys because they were like, oh, it shouldn't be based on the artist that released it. It should be based on the song quality, and Rain on Me was a bad song. So Dynamite should have won, which is the exact opposite logic as you guys were using during Mama. So I don't know, just make up your minds. Like, do you prefer song quality over the artist that released the song or vice versa? Now, if we're talking about my personal opinion, I think that song quality matters more. So yeah, I think that Psycho should have won the Mama Song of the Year award, but I also think that Dynamite should have won over Rain on Me in that respective Grammy category. Okay, so the opinion that live vocals matter isn't necessarily unpopular, but I do see a lot of people saying the opposite, especially when it comes to the fourth gen, when things are super dance focused and performance focused. A lot of people are letting idols get away with not singing live, and I think that that's a big problem because live vocals are the only way, to me, that an idol can prove how talented they really are. Because if they're not singing or rapping live, then who's to say that they're not just going into the studio every single day, recording something unbelievably mediocre, and then having a producer auto-tune the shit out of it for it to be released and people to call them super talented? The only way an idol can disprove that is by singing or rapping live and by doing it well. And it also doesn't make sense to me how an idol would want to be a K-pop idol if they're physically not able to sing and dance or rap and dance live. Because if they don't know how to dance and they can only sing or rap, then why don't they just go become a singer or a rapper that doesn't do dance performances, like a solo artist? If they can only dance well, then why don't they just become a dancer that doesn't sing or rap? If they can't do all of these things simultaneously, then what were they even training for? Okay, so this opinion genuinely might get me canceled. Let's hope not. But I think that quote unquote canceling idols for cultural appropriation or being racist is a little bit harsh. Now, before I start, I just want to preface with I do know what it's like to have my culture misrepresented by the media. I am part of a minority group, so I don't want this to come off as me being disrespectful or invalidating the feelings of any person of color who has felt violated by cultural appropriation. However, I do think that it's important to understand that these idols were born and raised in Korea. At least most of them were. And we all know that Korea is super conservative. They don't give two shits about cultural appropriation. So I think that it's a little bit much to expect these idols to have the same standards and knowledge as people in the West do. For example, a lot of the instances of idols being racist come from variety shows, and I just have to ask, why do you think these variety shows released that footage in the first place? If they genuinely looked at that footage and were like, oh, that's something that's racist, they wouldn't have released it to the public out of fear of backlash. I'm pretty sure these companies probably review the footage too, and they definitely wouldn't have let that stuff be released if they genuinely thought that it was problematic. I think that they just overlook that kind of thing and don't really see any issue with it. So I feel like it's a little bit unfair to hold them to a different standard that we have in the West when it comes to being politically correct. Now, when it comes to idols that were born and raised in the West, like, yeah, pop off, do whatever you want, cancel them, I don't really care, because chances are they probably know what they're doing wrong. So yeah, that's a big issue. But when it comes to idols that were born and raised in the East, they probably should just be educated rather than canceled. Ruining their career over something that they don't even know that they did wrong is harsh to me, to say the least. I think that the better way to go about it is just posting stuff online and trying to respectfully educate them. And then if they repeat the action, yeah, that's a problem. But I feel like sometimes people just take it a little bit too far. Alright guys, so that is it for the video. That is all of the opinions that I have for you today, but I do have a lot more, and I'm totally willing to make another one of these videos, so just let me know in the comments down below if you want me to make another video like this one. I am kind of new to the whole YouTube thing, so I don't really know how long it's going to take me to edit videos, so I don't really have a set upload schedule yet, but once I do, I definitely will let you know. Make sure to like this video because it helps the algorithm a lot, I guess, and helps me get this video to a lot more people. And again, you can comment down below any opinions, any whatever, just make sure to be nice to people. And finally, subscribe so you don't totally forget about me. And hit the notification bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video, so you can go watch that and enjoy yourself. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. So, see you later.